Hello everyone and welcome back in a new episode of our Minecraft series. So, how have you been? Last week we built this one, the storage. And also we started working on the actual logging camp. So off camera I've completed the logging camp. No, okay, just joking. I've just placed down all the enclosures for the different woods. You don't have acacia. Uh, Over there we have over here. Sorry, we have birch, and down there we have cherry. One wood is missing, actually. Well, at the moment, and it's mangrove. Mangrove. I plan on building an offshore site, put it like that. Plan on putting down a strip of dirt in the sea, because mangroves, if you didn't know about that, they grow on water normally, at least. The thing is that they grow with roots, and they are quite annoying to work with. So either we make a strip here in the logging camp or on the water. And I thought, why not on the water? At least for the moment. Maybe I'll change my mind. So, that matter aside, I also managed to find the fifth stonemason, which was missing in the last episode. He was stuck in one of the sheep pens. Because my hunch is he tried to go for this bed over here. In fact, I've placed down this temporary gate. I'll have to swap it out for either oak or bamboo. He tried to go for this bed because he got too far away from the actual village center, and basically he came up here and then fell down here in the pens and got stuck. So I freed him and carried him over to, actually pushed him over to the village. Okay, so that matter aside, let's head on with today's episode. Last episode, towards the end, I had already announced the program for this one. In today's episode, we are going to build the quarry, first of all, and then if we manage to spare some time, we will also work on the docks, which are going roughly around this place. So, in order for us to, actually build the actual quarry, we have to do some digging. So, let's let the digging begin. It's been way too long since we've last offered something to our gods, and as the sky is red, so is the wood we are offering. Since we are working today on the logging camp, it makes only sense that we offer logs and a stack of them to our gods. And on top of that, those were mangrove. And why mangrove? Because it's the toughest wood to get, really, even tougher than the warped wood. Welcome back. So here we have the first part, first stage of our quarry, which is the big dig. Yes, in order for us to have an actual quarry, we have to hollow out some part. Look as if the earth was purposely dug out. Well, the stone actually was purposely dug out in order for us to gather the stone, which we actually did, because here I have a couple of stacks, but I had to empty my inventory once in the shack, since it was full of stone. So we did actually use our quarry in the end. Now comes a little bit of a boring part, which is we have to texture the quarry, because leaving it like this, it's definitely no. No, it's a big mistake. I plan on adding in some scaffoldings, some structures, chests and even rails, some rails for mimicking what would be if we were to use minecart for moving stone. But that's not enough. I want to add in some patches of different materials, that being, for example, granite, andesite, diorite, maybe even calcite I'm here at. This part instead was a little bit peculiar because as I carved out this side of the quarry, well, of the village in reality, because here we have the village and the quarry is all on the side. I thought to myself, well, it would be nice to have a deeper part with a tunnel, but then a tunnel for what? What would we do that? Initially, I thought of mimicking a cave on the side, but then it occurred me we could implement some sort of archaeological site instead, which would look very good. Something like a classic Rome caves in which you dig out for doing whatever, a new palace, a new underground line, and you stumble upon an entire Roman villa with tiled floors and everything. So my idea here was to build in actually a kind of corner mimicking what would look like as an ancient Roman villa. So I was thinking of using glazed terracotta, making a nice pattern on the ground, and then add some quartz pillars as columns. I know they are more Greek-like rather than the Romans, but the Romans were really good at recycling. Let's go with that. And yes, that's the plan at least laid out for the quarry. We have to actually put it in action, and so I just have to work on texturing first, and then the rest will come. See you in a bit. Welcome back. So here we have, and now allow me to show you, I've introduced the new textures. Ooh, look at that. Here we have found, well, I've actually found two deposits of, one of granite and one of andesite, and I've also found one of diorite, so I didn't have to basically manually insert them. You have a small lot of copper, and over here a small clump of iron. I've inserted here some calcite. In the end I chose to insert it, as well as some tuff, although we all know that it is a material that is supposed to be found at deep slate level. Over there we have expanded our patch of dirt, and I've also done the same thing with the gravel. Here you can see where I've discovered some diorite, and here we have some coal, well, a patch of coal. And lastly, we have here a patch of dripstone blocks. So right now I've just, let's say, textured the whole thing. We are still lacking basically everything. I want to add in, as I said previously, scaffoldings. I want to add in an archaeological site down there. And I also want to add in some mounds of materials, rails, a whole lot of details that are currently lacking. So the next step is exactly to do that. Add in the details that are missing. I've skipped a little bit ahead because the first part was a little bit boring for what concerns the actual building, because I was mostly concentrating on building the inside of the cave, so it wasn't visible. You can see that I already added in a little bit of details, some slabs, some stairs, like that. We are working on the main, let's say, feature of the outside, which is the wooden bridge that crosses over the main section of the quarry. This is, I wanted to add it in because I plan on adding minecarts, and I want to have a bridge that goes over, well, that crosses and allows us to, let's say, quote, transport materials from one side of the cliff to the other. What comes next is simply adding in a little bit of stairs and preparing also the places where the railways are going to go, and I've started also adding a little bit of railings on the edges of the stone blocks. And then I've decided to add in this stone brick block on the front, which I will explain the purpose of later on, but it is a nice decorative feature. So now that we are just in the process of, well, after having gathered a little bit of wood, I had to gather some bamboo, so harvest it and craft it in blocks and planks. And also I had to restock a little bit on dark oak because I was running low on it. We can now work on the last details that I wanted to include in this video. The rest, it's highly likely I'm going to do it off camera, which is the finishing the railings and adding in the fences with this weird pattern of alternating dark oak and bamboo. But more on that later. Let's get back to the video where I will explain you everything in live. Welcome back. Ooh, look at that. Well, now you know why I put this string of slabs around this sapling. It's to force grow a big tree. I wanted a big tree here in front of our shack. Okay, so it's a little bit went by. How did you get there? Come on, come out. Well, a little bit went by, and you can see here a little bit of progress. But before even reviewing everything we've done, I wanted to add in the final piece of our build, which is the actual archaeology site. And for that, we need terracotta. But thankfully, we have the villagers here, and I went to also repair my tools, but most importantly gather some emeralds. That way we can trade with all these villagers for some terracotta. And now it's time for our second time-lapse, lucky you! This time is a first-person time-lapse, and here we are building the actual archaeology site. So you can see me here placing down the bricks as walls, having to go to craft some other blocks, and then also adding in the terracotta flooring, and last but not least also the quartz columns in the walls a little bit. So some are outside from the stone, some are embedded in the stone wall. Wakey wakey rise and shine, good morning to everyone. And welcome back into, well, the conclusion of our episode. Allow me to introduce you to our new quarry. So, you should have already seen all the process that went into creating it. I'm extremely happy with how it turned out, although it's still missing a couple of details. For example, I was thinking of adding some mounds of materials here and there, like a pile of tuff, a pile of calcite, cobblestone, the andesite diorite granite, and even the coal and iron and copper all around scattered in the quarry. That way it seems a little bit more, let's say, active as a quarry. Right now it's a little bit empty, for my taste at least. And well, here we have I've also added in this brick wall. This is because, well, just for protecting this part of the dig site from the tide. Were it the sea level to rise, at least we have some sort of protection for our dig site, at least for the the diuretic side. Additionally, in here we have the cave for the granite and andesite. I'm very happy with how it turned out. Really? Oh my lord! It it, it rains so much. It looks like England. Oh, goodness gracious me. Okay, so rain aside, thank weather. You can see here that the this nice granite pillar that is holding up both the tunnel here, as well as the cavern in which we are digging the andesite and granite itself. And last but not least, here we have the archaeology site. Here too, we need to add a couple of details. I want to add some glow lichens in it, because it looks like it is dusty, rather than having everything laid out here like this, neat and clean. Also, what I want to add in some dirt, coarse dirt, gravel, in order to mimic, you know, the actual archaeology that was introduced with 120. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit of a dumb power of an end. You know, it's raining. So unfortunately I can't, well, I could use commands, but I don't want to because it's against the spirit of survival games. So, well, we have still to update from last time. We have our lock deposit, and we can also tear down the quarry because we already have it. We have to polish it a little bit, and also the logging enclosure. Wow, it's emptying way too fast. Okay, so we have to work. The big things left to do are the dock and maybe the bridge. Well, the beekeepers too, but I want to integrate it into building the village. Off camera, I will have to add in some roads, well, some additional paths, some houses, some farmlands. I want to add a little bit of things here and there. And I think for the most part we are done. We have to add in the towers and the gates, because we still have the ugly gate on both sides instead of an actual one. And that's it. So we'll have to just let's go up to the signboard, the big one, this time for the first time in like 5 episodes, and conclude the episode. Okay, here we are. Home sweet home, signboard sweet signboard. Not so sweet because it's always full. I've already went ahead and added the gather coral blocks sign, and I've also added the roach logging camp because I believe the last episode, or maybe 2 episodes ago, you can see over there we have the gate, which is, well, the little big gate. And I should have already announced it. I want to take advantage of that little floating island and make a bridge that crosses over this this gap between these 2 hills, ours and the other one, and make a road that comes up here. That way it would be meaningful if we have some horses up here, some stables, which is already on the to-do list. It will be, well, actually meaningful to have some horses up here. So we'll have to also schedule, we may have to even out a little bit here, maybe make a nice courtyard, I don't know, I'm still pondering about it. I've talked for way too long. I thank you for following until this moment. Let me know in the comments what you would like me to do. If I've asked you some opinions, please let me know what you think, what you would like, what you think it's better. And as always, I will be waiting for you in the next episode. Bye bye!